Hey crafters! Today I'm going to show you a quick and easy card design using a gel press and some Lavinia products. Hope you enjoy! So I'm going to start with my gel plate. This one is 5 by 7, and using one of the Elements inks from Lavinia Stamps, this is the Paprika, I'm going to spread it with my braying tool. And then I'm going to use the Blue Lagoon ink, also from Lavinia, and I'll just put this in random places and then blend them together. I wanted the color to be sort of a darker purpley gray color. And then I'm going to use 3 of the Brusho inks. This is the yellow, and then some turquoise and some purple. And I'm just putting them in random places all over my gel plate. And then I'm going to take a piece of A5 paper and just push that onto my gel plate. And I leave my gel plate on the acetate backing, so it's easy enough to move it around. And using the same colors, I created another one, so you can see they're similar, but they're never quite identical. And I'm just going to trim these pieces down, and I need 4 pieces that are 1 1/4 inches by 2 3/4 of an inch. So the great thing about trimming it down is you can pick and choose which areas you want to keep. So if you prefer the Brusho areas, you can keep those. So I've just put the pieces upside down, and I'm just lining them up to create a square so that the sort of like puzzle pieces, that they're all connected together. And I'm just using some Post-it note tape to tape them in place. And this way, if I apply some ink, I can have all the ink on the inside pieces the same. So I've got a nice continuous pattern. So I'm just using the green Oasis on the inside and then the Monarch color on the outside. And I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the other pieces that I cut, but use slightly darker colors. And you'll see they're similar but different. So you can customize this with the color scheme of your choice. Now I'm going to use the Blackberry stamp from Lavinia and some VersaFine Clair ink in Nocturne. And I'm going to stamp this twice. And I'm going to make sure that the stamp covers more than one piece. And that way we'll get a nice effect at the end. And I'm just going to rotate this and do this beautiful stamp one more time. And you could color in the blackberries if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave those black and just focus on the leaves. So I'm just going to dry this quickly with my heat tool to make sure that the ink is completely dry. And then I will use one of my Copic markers to color it in. This is the BG23. And you could always use pencil crayon or ink if you, an ink pad if you prefer. But I like the subtle effect that this very light Copic color gives onto the leaves. You could always use distress inks for the background on the gel plate, and they work really well with Copics as well. The distress oxides are beautiful, but they don't work that well with Copics. So now I'm just going to use 4 pieces. These are cut to 1 1/2 inches by 3 inches, and I just used some purple paper that was in my stash here. And I'm just going to line the purple pieces up underneath the stamped images, and then I will glue all these pieces down. And I'm just using a regular PVA glue, and that way I can wiggle the pieces around before they have set, just to make sure that the purple border is consistent around all the pieces. And it helps if you put something heavy on the paper until it's had a few moments to dry. So this kind of card design would look great with any of the Lavinia stamps, especially the smaller stamps. or a larger stamp that is very floral like this one, which can go on more than one piece. And I'll show another example at the end of the video with a different floral Lavinia stamp so you can see the difference. I forgot to mention, but it's good to keep that post-it note tape handy, the same pieces that we used earlier. I tend to use them 3 or 4 times before they lose their stickiness. So I'm just going to put the pieces back in the correct position, and I'm going to cut a piece of white card that's 1.5 inches squared, so it fits perfectly in the middle here. And then I'm going to use my Hero Art set. This is called See You Soon, and it has some great sentiments on it. And I'm just going to stamp one of them into this square here. Now, of course, you could turn this into a birthday card or another occasion card, but mine is a miss you card. So I'm just going to use that same post-it note tape and tape on the front until all the pieces are nicely taped together. And then I'm going to use a 5-inch card blank. This is top folding. And I'm going to use some glue and glue my sentiment in place. And I can use those taped pieces to kind of guide where this sentiment needs to go. And because I used the glue, I can kind of wiggle it around until it's in the right place. And I'm just going to double check with a ruler that it's nice and straight before the glue has a chance to set. I don't know about you, but I just can't stand it when I put a sentiment on crooked. So now I'm just going to use some foam tape and apply this onto the back panels. And I'm going over the joins here, so this will join all of the 4 panels together. So I'll just repeat this around the 4 edges there. And then I'll fill in the inside areas with some foam tape as well. And this will give some nice dimension on the card, and I'll pop it up a little bit from that miss you sentiment. Now, if you prefer, you could always use foam squares. This tape is 2 millimeters thick, so it's the same size as the regular foam squares. I'm just going to remove the backing from those pieces of foam tape, and then I can put it onto my card here. And I'll just line it up so it's on there perfectly. And you can turn the design any way that you prefer here. And you can see those beautiful Lavinia stamps going from one panel to another. It's just gorgeous in real life. Now I'll show you another card that I created with the same pattern, and this one uses the Lavinia stamp called Fairy Thistles. I used a similar color theme with this one, but the colors are a bit more vibrant. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video inspiring. Be sure to subscribe so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Have a crafty day!